All right, perfect, perfect. All right, so again, thank you guys so much for hopping on. Yeah, I appreciate it. So yeah, guys, I think life insurance is probably one of the easiest things to do in this business. It's actually a very simple thing to go across doing. It's an emotional set that you justify with logic. So as long as you know how to overcome certain objections and talk to certain kinds of people, life insurance should really pretty much be a breeze. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. We're gonna go a little bit over how to close life insurance 101. Okay. Let me go ahead and share my screen. How's everybody morning so far? Everybody good? Everybody good?
Oh, let's go. Fired up.
Fired up. Let's get it. So way to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and my screen, how to close life insurance 101 by Primerica. And I hope the people on Zoom can see my screen good. You can see, right? Okay, fantastic. All right, make sure you guys can go ahead and follow me on Instagram, Carl Marius Pro, if you haven't already. And then yeah, perfect. Morning is unbelievable. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So life insurance in of itself, guys, always starts with the idea. Now, of course, do whatever your upline tells you to do. But I know my upline underlay tells me, hey, all presentations are recruiting presentations. We're not sitting down with people for just life insurance, and we're not sitting down with people just for IBAs or for things of that nature. Right? The whole presentation of itself is to be able to talk to people about life insurance, investments, and coming into the business. Okay. And what that does is, because think about it, guys, especially now, looking at how our business is growing right now, there are a lot of people who may come in, right? We might have the Danielle or Roxana who are younger, who have children who can kill the business as well. Imagine if Ali and Lewis or Ryan, who recruited them, only talked to them about life insurance, right? I mean, he wouldn't have gone out. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things, there's a plethora of things that could happen. So guys, it always starts with the idea, right? So just a little bit of verbiage, and I'm gonna teach you guys exactly step to step, a very cookie cutter way of being able to close life insurance. So I'm gonna go through every single step about how I close life insurance. Okay, so it starts with the verbiage, right? So I'll tell them, hey, so that's actually the business side of our business. In addition, we have client side where we help people with our products and services, right? So that's very important, because now this is the transition. That's the transition statement from the IBA to the Life app. Okay, so you're gonna say, hey, so that's actually the business side of our business. In addition, we also have a client side where we help people with our products and services, life insurance and Objections, right? So if they already have life insurance, right? I'm sure you remember from the before and after F&A slide, right? You saw how we were able to show them a better option. What if I could show you a better option in terms of life insurance? Right? Spend the same money, get more coverage, spend less, get the same policy with 50 benefits, et cetera, et cetera. So the reason why you're doing this is because you want to be able to show them, hey, although you have life insurance, there are better options, which is why I love our presentation so much, because it's very comprehensive. You guys know the slide, the F&A slide, where it says, John and Mary had 250 for whatever, or spent $250 for 200,000, and now we gave them $100 policy for 500,000, or whatever the case may be, right? So that kind of gives people the idea throughout the presentation that they have better options. You follow me? Now, if they don't have life insurance, so you can say, so you mentioned earlier that you don't happen to have outside life insurance. Right? I want you to understand that you're not alone. In fact, 33% of Americans are not insured for these reasons. You'll be able to go into that. So, of course, regardless of if they have insurance or not, I'm always transitioning to whatever app I use. I use Freeform. You guys can use Notability. You guys can use Notes. It doesn't matter what you use, but I like to talk in pictures, right? So I transition to show them the reasons, right? Like I said, Notability, Freeform, et cetera, right? And I'll tell them, hey, so the reason people don't have life insurance is, of course, they think it's too expensive, right? They don't understand it. Right? They haven't gone around to doing it, or some people don't care about their families, right? So I'll break it down when I'm going through these points, right? So I think, I say, hey, some people think life insurance may cost an arm and a leg, which sometimes can be true. Secondarily, they don't understand it, right? A lot of people think that life insurance is just another thing that they're paying for. They're looking at it as another bill, when in reality, right, it's leaving something behind for you and your family. Thirdly, they don't understand it, or they haven't gone around to doing it, excuse me, right? So a big part of that, of course, is people just waiting. And more often than not, you either get really sick or uninsurable. And then at that point, you can't even get life insurance. And the fourth reason is some people don't care about these factors. Now, when I bring up the fourth reason, guys, I always say, hey, I know the fourth reason is not you, right? However, out of these three reasons, which would you say is yours? Now, the reason why I crossed it out, guys, is to eliminate that objection. I don't want to hear that, I don't care about my family crap. Don't tell me that. Because if someone does tell you that, guys, the odds of you closing that successfully. Now, can you close? Can you force them to make it happen? Yes. But what's the odds of that sticking? Right? Follow me, very slim. Because they already came in with that inference that they don't care about the family. So I eliminate that objection like that. So I draw them a picture, right? And once I'm done drawing them a picture, I say, hey, I know that's not you. I cross it out. I know that's not you. However, out of these three reasons, which would you say it is? Now, it's just a matter of overcoming the objection. This is the textbook way to be able to overcome all objections, right? So number one, right? So some people might say it's too expensive. So for example, JJ, bro, I want you to tell me it's too expensive, and watch how I read it verbatim, guys, and watch exactly how it works. Go ahead, JJ. Tell me it's too expensive.
Yeah, man, I just think it's too expensive.
Okay, no problem, guys. Emphasis on asking questions. You're not gonna close making statements. Okay, people make statements all the time. Everyone loves being talked to, right? People love being talked to, right? You have to ask questions. So JJ, bro, what would you say is too expensive for you, bro? $200, $300 a month? What would you say, bro?
Yeah, like.
For sure. So what if we could, we could be half of that, or even a fraction of that? Would you consider looking at some options?
Yeah.
Great. Allow me to share my screen and show you some options. Very, very simple, guys. Right? Things being too expensive, guys. People spend hundreds of dollars a month on food, on clothes, on miscellaneous items. Follow me? So it's important to make sure that, hey, if you are going to be spending your money, if you are going to have certain things that you're purchasing or buying or investing in, at least put something in place for your family. Right? If $200, $300, and the reason why we say $200, $300 is because we already know our life insurance is usually not going to be that expensive. You sit down with somebody that's 35 years old, who, you know, you get them a $300,000 policy, it's not going to be $300. But you're already getting what you want, because if a fraction of $300, half of $300 is 150. It's probably not even going to be that much anyways. So you can still close a max case, you can still make it happen, right? But but the reason why you're giving them the numbers is to gauge them in interest. A lot of times people think life insurance is. I remember talking to a lady thinking that she's gonna have to spend $1,000 a month for life insurance. I'm like, no, like that's very unrealistic, because some people are just uneducated. So it's our job as financial educators to educate them on how it works, right? Don't understand it. Go ahead, John. Go ahead. Tell me that you don't understand how life insurance works, brother.
Yeah, man, I don't really understand how life insurance works.
Yeah, bro, fantastic. I can see how you feel, bro. So let me ask you, can I educate you a little bit on how life insurance works, bro?
Yeah.
And this is very, very important. Very, very important that you ask this first question. Not everyone wants the education. In fact, sometimes people take it the wrong way. Sometimes people take it condescendingly and think that, oh, you think I'm dumb, like you think I don't know how life insurance works. So it's always important to ask them, hey, can I educate you a little bit on how life insurance works? Yeah, Johnny, let me ask you, bro, do you have enough money saved to pay off your house?
No.
Okay, what about your income for the next, say, 10 years?
No.
Right, what about your college? What about your children's college?
No, I don't have that either.
Right, exactly, right? So wouldn't you agree it's important to leave something behind for the people that you care about the most? Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Absolutely, right? So let's, great. So can I share my screen and go over some options with you, bro? Show you something you should go qualify for?
Sure.
Absolutely. Let's do it. Very, very simple, guys. Life insurance is very, very, very easy. It's not hard at all. Not hard at all. You just have to ask the right question. Emphasis on asking questions. Imagine if I told Johnny, hey, Johnny, so you don't understand how life insurance works, bro. Yeah. Life insurance is this, and this. You get it now? How would you guys think he feels? I mean, if you ever walk into a Costco or whatever the case may be, or a BJ's, you guys see like the dish, like DirecTV salesman. The reason why they usually don't make a lot of sales, right? The reason why they usually aren't good at their practice, because it's a lot of commission vomit, right? That's what it is. It's like commission bread, It's just a bunch of spewing, it's a bunch of pouring out, it's a bunch of going over and over and over. And usually what happens is you bore the person. The most effective way to close, guys, is to have a conversation with the person and build rapport. If you guys were at ECDS, you would have heard John Lavin say, hey, the most important skill in this business is people skills, which is very true. We're in a people business, guys. We're in a people business. Ed and Yvonne Ortiz has built their business on 100% people skills, which is why they were able to go to Atlanta and build their business, go to Spain and build their business, come back to Tampa and build their business. 100% people skills, guys, right? So now let's go ahead, haven't gotten around to doing it. So, Jacob, right? So I want you to go ahead and tell me, bro, you haven't gotten around to getting life insurance.
I just really haven't gotten around to like.
Okay, no problem, bro. I can understand that. So can I educate you a little bit on how life insurance works?
Yeah.
Again, right? Ask for first, right? So life insurance, my friend, is dependent on your age and your health. Okay? So the younger you are, the younger you are, the more healthy you usually are. Would you agree? Absolutely, right? And the older you are, right, the less healthy you are and usually become. Wouldn't you agree? Absolutely, right? So the cost of life insurance actually increases with your age, right? And if and when your health diminishes. Okay, so as you get older, right, of course, naturally speaking, your health is going to diminish, correct? You follow me? So considering that, bro, considering life insurance is less expensive when you're younger and healthier, when would you say, Jacob, is the best time to get life insurance? Absolutely, right? Who close to, guys? Close to, he closed himself, right? Now, of course, Jacob, right, considering that you said obviously when you're younger, are you gonna get any younger than today? So when would you say the perfect time to get life insurance? Very, very simple, guys. I'm telling you, life insurance is very, very, very easy, right? Perfect. So I can show you some great options if you like me to share my screen. Very, very simple, guys. Very, very simple way to close life insurance. Right? These are the main objections, right? We also have one more. Yeah, so I don't care about my family. Now, of course, guys, take this with a grain of salt. A lot of times when I sit down with people and they tell me they don't care about their family, there's really nothing really there for me. You follow me? Now, can I force them and muscle them? We're not really convincing business, which is why whenever somebody sits down on Zoom with me and they say, hey, no, I don't think I'd be good at sales because I don't like convincing people. I don't like convincing people either. I don't want to convince you to have hundreds of thousands of dollars in life insurance in case something happens to your family. That's not my job. My job is not to convince you about anything. But I want to make sure that you already understand how it works. I want you to make sure that you already understand the importance of having life insurance for your kids, right? So, Nisha, right? So Nisha, I asked you, I want you to say, I know you do, but I want you to say, I don't care about my family.
I don't care about my.
Okay, cool. So, would you agree? Let me ask you a question, right? So would you agree that, your family is usually what you live for?
Yeah.
Absolutely, right? How would it make you feel knowing that, if something were to happen to me, right, my family would be in financially distress, right? So having to do GoFundMe, a fish fry, how would that make you feel? Honestly. Right, so that's not really how you feel, is it? Absolutely, right? So let me show you some comprehensive options to make sure that if anything happens to you, your family will be okay. Sounds good? Very simple, very straightforward, right? Now, that's just the overcoming part, right, guys? Now, if they're giving you push and shove or whatever the case may be, I would leave it. That's me personally. You want to close it, you want a heck of a mark closer, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, close it, 100%. But I'm in the business of having good business, right? I'm in the business of having good business, right? We want to be able to protect you behind things of that nature, right? Job. I know this is something that you guys get a lot, right? Job insurance. Nah, bro, I'm good. I already have my insurance on my job. Come on, bro. I want you to tell me, hey, I already have job insurance.
Hey man, yeah, all of these sounds good, but I already have insurance.
Okay, no problem. So can I educate you a little bit on how job insurance works?
Yes.
Okay, cool, right? So I want you to understand, brother, that job insurance, number one, terminates once you leave your job, right? It's not like health insurance, right? Health insurance has something called Cobra, which is basically it's like a health insurance system plan that they give you once you leave that job. It's usually 10 times more the amount or whatever the case may be. Life insurance, though, at your job actually leaves once you leave your job. It terminates once you leave your job. So you get fired, you quit, you retire, whatever the case may be, Juan, anytime you leave your job, your insurance does not come with you. You follow me? Now, let me ask you a question, Juan. Considering that, of course, do you plan to work there for the rest of your life? Right, one day you plan to retire, right? And of course, you don't know what day you're gonna die, correct? Absolutely. So imagine you're paying into this policy, paying into this policy, paying into this policy. You retire, right? You retire, and then you don't pass away. How would that make you feel? Let him say it, right? Feel bad, of course, right? Because at this point, you're just throwing into a bucket of holes in, right? And then also understand, hey, it usually takes months to pay out. Guys, I've seen life insurance. Number one, guys, understand that job insurance typically doesn't pay out anyway. A lot of the times, its job is to be able to give companies a tax break, right? Because, hey, no, we're already covering our people. You guys, look, we're already covering our people, so they can show it on the sheet, go back during tax season and get a break off of it. That's really what it's for, right? And it usually takes months to pay out. I've seen companies take months to years to pay out for job insurance. Follow me? So how people understand that? Think about it. I mean, when you pass away, a funeral typically takes 14 days, 2 weeks, typically, right? 14 days, 2 weeks typically, which is why we pay out in 14 days, right? So understanding that job insurance typically takes months to pay out, I mean, think about it. Is that funeral emergency going to be a funeral emergency in the next 5 months? No, it's not, right? Also, right, it's usually an accidental death and dismemberment policy. A lot of these policies at jobs, right, they're called voluntary life insurance, right? You might have heard of voluntary life insurance, group life insurance. A lot of the times they're accidental death and dismemberment policy, which means that it's only going to cut out if you pass away in an accident. Now, let me ask you one. Do you know how you're gonna die, bro? So let me ask you, bro, if you pass away naturally, right? If you pass away naturally, do you think this policy is gonna pay out? What if you get shot by a gun or something? You think you're gonna pay out? Right. It's only in an accident, right? What if you have a disease, Juan? Do you think they're gonna pay out? What if you pass away in your sleep? Do you think they're gonna pay out? Right. So Juan, would you want a policy that pays out in certain ways? Would you want to know there's a chance that your policy wouldn't pay out, or would you want to have a guarantee that, hey, if I'm gonna be paying this money, I want my policy to pay out? What do you think? Absolutely. Who close to? Generate yes momentum with these questions, guys. And it's controlled by your employer. I think this one is the worst option in job insurance. It's controlled by your employer. Understand this, guy. A lot of the time, right? A lot of the time, the employer is looking in their best interest. Period. We all do. We're all human. If you guys have read the book, Skill with People by Les Gibson, which is an incredible read, like 44 pages, you can read it. It's very, very simple. One of the first things he talks about is making sure that you understand that people are only concerned with themselves. And it's okay, right? We're humans. Everyone's biggest concern is with themselves. If you take a picture, if someone takes a group picture, the first thing that you look for is Yours. Exactly. Everyone is concerned about themselves, right? So understand that this employer right here is not looking at your interest, they're looking in there. Juan, did you know, bro, with your group insurance plan that you have right now, bro, did you know that, hey, your kids usually aren't covered? You have to pass away a certain way. The employer controls exactly how much they pay out and when they're gonna pay out and in what instance they're gonna pay out. Juan, let me ask you a question, brother. Would you want the family that you have, right? Do you want your family's legacy to be in your boss's hands or your hands? Absolutely, right? Wouldn't you agree it makes sense to have something that's for you, that you can control, that you have in place? Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Absolutely, bro. So let me agree, bro. So wouldn't you agree it's important, to have outside life insurance now, bro?
Yeah.
Absolutely, right? So very simple education. Don't give them a chance to give you anything. Which is why I went over the objections, right? The 4 common things that people don't know about job insurance, right? Don't give them a chance to give you the objection, right? And throughout the presentation, especially when you're doing life insurance, while you're doing that thing that I showed you on the screen, right, with the 4 pictures, while you're doing that, you should be going over the objection. And don't bore people, right? If somebody says, hey, bro, I just haven't gotten around to doing it, don't tell them, yeah, bro, life insurance is pretty inexpensive. What are you doing? Right? Go to what they want to hear, go to what they want to listen to, right? So now I'm going to teach you guys how to be able to run a quote. Right, so after you guys overcome the objection, you guys can be able to move forward. You have to be able to gauge some kind of interest. You have to be able to see what exactly they're going to be able to invest into for life insurance. So I want you to ask some questions. So, for example, Hockey, right? So, Mr. Hockey, right? I do have to ask you some basic preliminary questions to find the best plan, right? Number 1, Hockey, bro. How old are you, bro?
Currently, 23,
Okay, cool, bro. Are you tobacco or non-tobacco?
non-tobacco.
Okay, cool. And how many children do you have under 18?
I have 1,
Okay, fantastic. And how would you say your health is? Any hypertension, diabetes, tumor, cancer?
not very healthy.
Okay, fantastic, right? So what is that used for? Number 1, you're gonna use that to be able to put into a quote generator to give them option. Follow me? Now, it's important to understand, guys, that especially for how many children do you have under 18? Because if you guys are gonna say all your kids are covered, and then their kids are 19, 20, 21, it comes off as misleading. So, hey, how many children do you have under 18? That's something I put emphasis on, right? So acquire budget. So Juan, let me ask you, bro, what would you say is affordable for life insurance in terms of life insurance? Right? Would you say, hey, Carl, to be honest with you, I could probably do 60 to 80 a month, 80 to 100 a month, or 100 to 150 a month? What would you say, bro? What would you say is good for you?
I can do like 80 to 100.
Okay, yeah, for sure, right? So utilizing the information provided gives you exactly how much they can expect to spend on life insurance. Give them 3 options, triple kid of choice. Not ever go move forward with life insurance without giving them 3 options. You're shooting yourself in the foot. Don't ever do it. Give them 3 options on purpose, and I'm gonna explain why. All right, number 1. So let's say, for example, right, these are the 3 quotes. And these are different kinds of quotes, guys. These are I think these are all 35 on female. So this is just random. I'm just giving you guys an example. Right, so for example, this one's 72, this one's 75, and this one's 86. Right, so if the lady says, oh, I can probably do maybe 80 to 100, 80 to 100, and you show her I guess only 60 to 80 or whatever the case may be, guys, it puts you in a position to not be able to gauge the whole injury. You guys follow me? So that's how you be able to run quotes. So what you do is you put the person's age here, then you'll be able to click tobacco or non-tobacco. You put their sex, of course, female or male, right? Now I know in our base, right, like I said, whatever your upline tells you to do, that's exactly what you do. But I know in our base we do certain power turn. That's how we do it. Unless we know someone's healthy, they're credible, they're willing to do the blood work, but do power turn because it uses the medical records. You follow me? So we go ahead and do power term, 35 years, et cetera, et cetera. They have kids, waiver premium, of course, which is very important. You guys know what waiver premium is?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic, right? So if you guys don't know, waiver premium is a benefit that Primerica gives you in terms of it, or in case of a disability, they're gonna pay for your policy for you, basically, right? So if you can't work anymore, usually what people start doing is they start cutting expenses. You don't gotta worry about that with our company, right? Because we pay for your policy upon a disability and 25,000 on the kids. Right, so I give you these 3 options, right? So these are the 3 options I'll be able to give them. And after that, right? So related options. So make sure you ask questions. So let's say, for example, Hockey, I was talking to you. Actually, let me show you. Right there, brother. What's your name?
Ben.
Ben. Fantastic. So, Mr. Ben, right? So I was able to find these options, right? These 3 options I believe work for you the best. Do not say think. Don't use words like think or suppose or I guess. It builds uncertainty and people don't trust it. Always be assertive. I believe this works for you. This is the option I'm sure works for you, right? Before that, right, I want to be able to go over our benefits. Our policy have 15 key benefits attached to each policy. We not ever want to go over prices beforehand. Also, on this slide, this quote screen, don't show them this. This is for you. This is for you to have a gauge in your mind. So what I'll do is on the screen, for example, give me my pencil right quick. So on the screen, for example, what I'll do is this. For example, right? So I'll say, so I'm gonna go over three options for Mr. Ben, right? So I'm gonna go over three options. I'm gonna go ahead and do dang, what happened to my pen? Wait for the peanut guy. Right, so Mr. Ben, I'm gonna give you three options, right, brother? I'm gonna give you 200,000. And all of these, Mr. Ben, are gonna have 25,000 on your kid, okay? So, all right, that's 25,000 on next to that, I do 250. Now I do 300,000. Okay? So I do 200,000, 250, 300,000. Equals, right? So before I even show them the prices, I'm gonna go over the benefits though, right? So, right, so these are the options, right? These are the plans that I'm sure have. You only have one kid, Mr. Ben. Experts usually recommend a quarter million per child. So you should be pretty good, especially considering, the options that I gave you, right? So, of course, you want to be able to go over benefits. Guys, price is only an issue in the absence of value. I'll say it again, right? Price is only an issue in the absence of value. People are afraid to purchase things because they're not sure they value. The reason why people buy certain things or purchase certain things or invest in certain things is because they understand that there's a value. Price is, I don't care how much something is. Think about it, guys. Think about it. A beat up 1999 Toyota Camry is not going to do the same as a 2023 BMW does. They're two different cars. They have two different values. You follow me? It's a completely different ballgame. A lot of people aren't really concerned about spending that money to get that new car because they understand the value of that car, right? That car can drive 50 miles with a flat tire. That car has 18 different airbags. A 1998 Toyota Camry, you probably got, right? I mean, like probably one airbag in the front. You seatbelt got to click like 3 times before you get in, right? So understand that price is only an issue in the absolute value. People are usually only concerned about spending money when they understand that the value of the particular item is not high. So this is us building the value of our product. This is us telling them, which is incredible, guys. I actually, before I came into this business, I got my 215 license, right? So I was licensed before I came into Primerica, actually. And I've seen a lot of different insurance companies. I'll tell you right now that these benefits are probably the most comprehensive in the country. 15 key benefits attached to each policy in the country without having to pay any additional. That's incredible. That's a big deal, guys. Understand that the product that you guys are facilitating is huge. This is a big deal, right? So be able to go over them, right? So guaranteed insurability, right? So every time I talk to them, so for example, let's say I'm sitting down with Hockey, right? So guaranteed insurability, Hockey, right? So what that means, Mr. Hockey, is basically you don't ever have to worry about not having life insurance, right? Once you have your policy with us, brother, you're covered until you're 95, right? Terminal illness, right? So of course, Hockey, we understand life happens, right? You could have a terminal illness, right? It could be some kind of cancer, maybe a bone disease or whatever the case may be. Well, Primerica, what they say is, bro, upon a terminal illness, brother, we're actually going to give you 70% of your up to 70% of your policy up front. Not to borrow, brother, because I'm sure in the presentation, you remember when we went over cash value and things of that nature. We're telling you 70%, brother, to be able to use. So let's say, for example, we give you 40%. Let's say you have 200,000, and we say we're going to give you 40%, right? 40% of 200,000 is 80,000, right? So 80,000, right? So that's 80,000 to use for what? Final expenses, right? Medical bills, business, travel, etc., etc. This is a living benefit. A lot of term policies don't come with living benefit. A lot of it is strictly just term insurance. This is a living benefit, right? So also, Hockey, bro, we cover any way you pass away, brother. It could be hit and run, accident, murder, disease, terrorist attack. We have no war exclusions in our policy. Now, when you understand your audience. Now, let's say Hockey was a 3-star general in the military. What would I bring up? 9/11. In fact, Hockey, right, during 9/11, Primerica actually paid out $10 million in death claims to 48 different families. We cover any way you pass away, brother. A lot of insurance companies actually did. In fact, a lot of insurance companies have war and terror exclusion policies in their policy. Why? Because they understand massive casualties usually leads to massive payouts. And a lot of insurance companies can't. You guys know insurance companies have insurance companies for the insurance, right? They have insurance companies for themselves because they understand sometimes it gets pretty hectic. All right, our company managed to pay out in 2001 $7 million in death claims to different families, right? We also have a waiver premium rider. Okay, right. So you mentioned that you're in construction, correct? Mm-hmm. Right. So you work all the time, right? So the odds of you getting disabled are not high, but they're also not low, right? You could wake up one day or whatever the case may be, and a log falls on your leg, and then at that point you can't work anymore. Well, upon that happening, brother, Primerica is actually going to pay for your policy for you. That's our waiver premium benefit, brother. That's our rider that's attached to your policy. You mentioned that you had one child, right? You had one child. How old is he?
7.
7. Your child is 7 years old. Fantastic. Well, I want you to understand that he's covered on your policy until he's 25 years old. And then at that point, my friend, he's gonna be guaranteed up to 5 times the amount. So remember, I gave him 25,000, right? When he's 25 years old, he's gonna have $125,000 in life insurance, guaranteed, no blood, no urine. Follow me?
Yeah.
You have level premium for the life of the policy. Now, some policies, Mr. Hockey, unfortunately, sometimes they look like this, right? So they raise every single year. Our policy, Mr. Hockey, actually looks like this. The premium that you spend actually stays level for the life of the policy. You don't ever have to worry about your policy going up or down unless you don't want it. Follow me?
Yeah.
Also, right, we have an increasing benefit rider in our policy. Now, to combat inflation, Hockey, what we do is we give people the option to have 10% of their policy increase every year if they like to. Right, because I'm sure you understand, your 300,000 today won't purchase what 300,000 will in the next 30 years. So it's important to make sure that you're combating inflation, right? We also have an incontestability period waived if you have the policy for 2+ years. So you had that State Farm policy for about 5 years now. You don't have an incontestability period, right? Which is a beautiful thing about our business. We're trusting that, hey, you're healthy or whatever the case may be. We'll do the underwriting or whatever the case may be, but you don't have to worry about the incontestability. Follow me? A 14-day average payout time. Okay, let me ask you a question, brother. Usually, about how long does it take for a policy? How long does a funeral take to take place? How long would you say?
6 months.
A funeral?
I don't know. I
About
never been to a
14.
funeral.
A funeral, that's a blessing, brother.
Yeah.
But a funeral typically takes 14 days, right? A funeral
Yeah.
typically takes 14 days. So Primerica actually pays out on an average time of 14 days, right? We have 88% of our clients are covered in the first 5 minutes. So, brother, right, we can do a policy with you today, take about 5 to 10 minutes and get you covered. Right, especially because you mentioned you're healthy, you don't have any major sicknesses, you're a pretty healthy guy, right? You're good looking, right? Right, so that can definitely help you. Follow me? Your policy is active right away. Actually, you're what's called conditionally covered, right? You get a policy with me today, something happens to you tomorrow, you're covered, right? Your premiums never change, you covered, you pass away from COVID, right? And really, and this is what you're gonna say after that, right? So after that, guy, you're gonna mention to the person that, right? So you're gonna say, and those are just a handful of the many other benefits we have in our policy. However, I want to go over your option. Because a lot of you don't want to walk them through, Primerica benefits or case may be. And I run through these really fast. The reason why I was explaining them to you guys, so you guys can take notes and break it down, right? But so those are just a handful of the many. Those are just a handful of the many other benefits we have in our policies. But I want to be able to go over those. So we have more than 15 policy benefits, right?
Primerica actually covers if they die from COVID.
Yeah. Anyway, you pass away, bro.
I didn't know.
Well, now you know. Write it down. Oh yeah, anyway, you pass away, bro. So now go over the option, right? So let's say we have 200,000 for 2,500 kids for 60 a month. These are just numbers, guys, right? So 250 for 25 or 75, 300,000 for 25 on your kids for 90 a month. Now first, Sean. Now, Deshaun. Now that these 3 options, which you say is the most comprehensive, affordable, and works best for you. This is very, very important that you say it. Okay? This is very, very important that you say this, right? So now out of these 3 options, Mr. Deshaun, what you say is the most comprehensive, affordable, and works best for you? Mr. Deshaun, which one do you want? And then you stop. Hold on. And then you stop. Because the person who says something first, bye. Don't ever finish their sentence. Once you say, hey, which one do you want? Let them talk about it. Because if they have a partner next to them, they're like, oh, you have to do 300,000, you probably do 150, whatever it may be. Let them go. But let me ask you. So let me answer. Mr. Deshaun, which one do you want?
$75.
Yeah, 75. Yeah, definitely, bro. That's incredible. That's very good. Now let's say for example, Deshaun, you chose 300,000. Right. So go ahead. Mr. Deshaun, which one do you want?
The $90.
Okay. Yeah, $90 is fantastic. Now this is where it gets interesting, right? Because this is what I call my genuine close. Okay, my genuine close works a little bit like this. Okay, and I'll show you guys how. Right. So I'll say something like this. Now, Mr. Deshaun, if you know your option works for you, you can go for it. If you know $90 a month doesn't work, it works for you at 100%, it's affordable, you can go over it. However, Primerica does give you the option to start small and raise later. So again, which one do you want? What does this do, guys? What does it do? It reassures the person. Not only does it reassure the person, but it creates a feel of genuineness.
Trust, yeah.
It builds trust. I'm not like a regular salesman. I'm not trying to sell you on the most expensive product we have. If you know $90 for sure and won't hurt your pockets, that's fine. Now, number one, using this guarantees 2 things. Number one, they're going to pick the one that you want them to pick, the most one. Or they're going to give you a sale regardless, and they're going to be a lower customer. Because they understand what car's not in it for the money. It's really, hey, what can I afford? Because there are a lot of people that you guys will sit down with that will say, hey, I can do $90, hey, I can do $100, hey, I can do $200, and the next month is something crazy. Right? So it's important to ask this question because what does it do? Number one, it protects your business, and it builds a field of genuinity, and it gives you the most compensation for your efforts. Okay? So again, let me ask you this, Sean, right? I know your option works for you, bro. You can go, if you know your option works for you, you can go for it. However, Primerica does give you the option to start small and raise later. So again, Sean, which one do you want?
You know what? I think I'm gonna go to 200.
Yeah.
Just to be safe.
For sure, definitely. All right, so that could have went two ways. You could either say, yeah, I can definitely do 90, and that's great. That ensures that it sticks, or it makes sure that he's okay. Right? Because if you can't afford the $90, you don't want to get a transaction today and then tomorrow have to pay back. We don't want to do it. Right? We want to put ourselves in a position to win always, right?
Yeah.
So perfect, right? So I can go ahead, share my screen, take 5 to 10 minutes to get you qualified. How's that sound? Great.
I'll do it.
Fantastic, right? Start the application and get a little bit. Very, very simple, guys. Very, very simple way to go about closing life insurance. And it's very, very simple that way on purpose, right? Sometimes if you overcomplicate things, or in the case may be, guys, it becomes a little taxing to the person and the person that you're talking to. Now, this process usually takes me maybe 10, 15 minutes. Because while I'm talking to the people, I'm multitasking, right? So while I'm talking to Juan about how many kids he has or whatever the case may be, I'm inputting those things. While I'm going over the benefits, I'm also looking at the prices, right? So I can already see and gauge some kind of interest. So it's important that you guys are talking to your people like that, right? And especially if you have new guys that are coming into the business, help them understand how simple it is to facilitate life insurance. Guys, this is very, very easy. This is not like selling knives or selling votes or selling cars. Those guys really, they got to get out of the muscle. You know what I'm saying? Car salesmen, they have to be wham, bam, thank you, man, kind of salesmen. Because it's really like, hey, I can either buy this car from you or I don't. And then why can't I go to Rich Chase? Why can't I go to Honda? Why can't I go there? They offer the same dang car. Not everyone offers Primerica life insurance. Only we do. Right? So it's important. So it's important to make sure, right? It's important to make sure that we're doing it the right way. We're building in a comprehensive way to help people understand exactly how simple it is to get life insurance. Any questions?
Sure.
Fantastic, bro. For sure, right? Yeah, go ahead.
Can you share your screen?
Why
Not when you're running bullets, however.
So when I'm filling out the application, 100%. 100%. It builds a level of trust. You have to know that I'm here, right? So while you're running the application, guys, especially when you're running the application, it's important to make sure that you're sharing your screen. Okay? Not ever do the application and not have the screen shared. I mean, that's like, imagine asking for someone, so what's your writing medium, please? What's your name? Without sharing the screen is a little insane. But that's how I go about closing life insurance, guys. That's you know, the whole the way that we go about closing it, right? But I do want to talk a little bit to you guys, a little bit about ECPS, guys. Raise your hand if you can be ECPS. Raise your hand if you're there. That's just about almost everyone in the room. That's very good, guys. And I think it's important to go over a couple of the notes that I got from you, right? So besides closing life insurance, guys, I think it's important to understand what this new year has to offer. Okay? So it's important to understand exactly how we're going to go about taking this year by storm. You know, you have to put yourself in a position, guys. Understand that this is the new year. This is 2024. This is how we're going to be able to propel into the next year, into the next year. What you do now, guys, determines exactly success for the coming months. Follow me? So a big speaker that I was very happy to hear was Jimmy Meyer. And I'll tell you why. So Jimmy Meyer, number one, I've only heard him on audios, and even on audios, like he's very, very electrifying, very, very electrifying. That's very, very electrifying mannerism and voice and character, right? So I remember him saying, right, so you don't have a time problem, you have a priority problem, which is definitely very true, guys. I think a lot of the time, especially because even in the office, guys, even in the office environment, you guys should feel blessed and grateful to have an environment like this. There aren't a lot of offices, especially in the country, that are like this, and that have the environment that we have, right? And think about how diverse we are. I remember talking to Jason earlier yesterday, and I told him, hey, like, you know, respectfully, right? Jennison's office, right? Showing him on Jennison's office is typically just Haitians, right? And he's also on the outside's office is typically just, you know, white people. Our office is a melting pot. We got Mexican, we got Haitian, we got Dominican, we got Jamaican, we got all kinds of different people. We got Filipino, right? We got all kinds of different races in our office. That's a blessing, guys, that we can be able to come over, guys, and build something regardless of your race or your skin or creed. That's a big deal. That's a huge deal. You guys should embrace that every single day, right? So understand that, hey, especially considering a time problem, not a priority problem, guys, understand where you're at, okay? Understand where you're at. We're young, but we don't have time. Don't, okay? I'm 20 right now. My goal is, of course, by the time I'm 23, to not ever have to worry about money ever again, right? Because especially where I grew up, bro, that's all we had to worry about was money. Think about the biggest problem. I want you to think about the biggest problem that you have right now in your life. The biggest problem that you have right now in your life. And if you had 100 grand right now, would that problem still be there? Yes or no, guys? If you got 100, if you think about the biggest problem that you have right now, whether it's a car, whether it's a house, whether it's this, whether it's that, if you had 100 grand liquid cash right now, what that problem would be? You guys are in a business where we can make that happen. I have yet to see a business that works that way. Okay, and I like to think I'm a pretty smart guy, right? So I've done a lot, right? Whether it's real estate, I got my license when I was 18 years old. So I was already trying to get it out. I was trying to already make it out of the mud, right? I was already trying to make something of myself. But to be in an industry that like this, that works like this, that operates like this, that gives you the opportunity to build with people and build other people up and make money together is incredible. Right? Real estate is a dog-eat-dog world. I mean, you become a broker, you're your broker's best enemy because he talks you everything you know. Come on, guys. Right? I'm in Leighton Brown's office every single day. He has a financial interest in me. He wants me to grow and develop and grow as a person, right? So I would say 100% commitment, right, gets you to achieve whatever you want. So it's very, very important to understand that your commitment level is going to determine who you are as a person. Your commitment level is going to determine what you become, right? Imagine if you commit every single day to the gym. You commit every single day to the gym, and Edward has a great job at giving this analogy. Imagine if you commit 5 hours one day to go to the gym. 5 hours one day to go to the gym. You give it all you got. You're doing push-ups, you're doing squats, you're doing hang cleans, you're doing pull downs, you're doing everything. You're hitting the bag a little, right? Are you guys gonna lose weight that same day? Are you gonna become Mike Tyson that same day? No. But if you do an hour every single day, you're hitting the pavement every single day, 100%, every single day. That's how it's supposed to be. You can't come to this office for 5 hours a day and then I show up for the next week and be like, hey, bro, why am I not making any money? What are you talking about? All right, get realistic. You have to be at the office every single day. You can ask Leighton right now. I'm probably at the office more than I am at home. 9 to 9 every single day. For what? For a reason. Because I understand this is temporary. If you want to make sure that you don't ever have to worry about money for the rest of your life, come to the office every single day for the next 3 to 5 years, give it everything you got, and you'll make it. And what says the best, right? You've never known anyone to give it 100% and not win. That's 100% true, guys. You give it 100% every day, you'll win. Time and consistency are going to grow your business. Understand it's only a matter of time. I'm 20 years old right now, guys. In the next 5 years, I'll be 25. The parties are still going to be there. In fact, right, I'll be able to buy the party. Hey, look, let me get the tab. Let me get, you know what I'm saying? Put yourself in that kind of position because a lot of the times, guys, especially your friends now, or the crowd that you guys might see right now, they're in a position right now to where they're enjoying the temporary fun, right? The instant gratification, right? The instant pleasure. All of those things are nice and cool, or whatever the case may be, but it becomes a drug, guys. You can be addicted to not wanting to succeed. That's an addiction too. Right? But delayed gratification, guys, understand, right? The price of delayed gratification weighs ounces. The price of regret weighs tons. You follow me? The price of delayed gratification weighs ounces. The price of regret weighs tons. You don't want to be that person in the next 35 years. Yeah, I was in that Primerica thing. But you work with hockey? Hockey, like $2 million earner hockey? Yeah, bro, yeah. And I used to smoke it too. That's crazy, right? It's like right? And imagine, yeah, hockey pulling over in his Corvette or Ferrari, whatever the case may be. And now you back to work. You back on the clock. Like, I would hate that. I think that's one of the things that keeps me. And he tells me all the time, I don't want to leave this business and then have someone that I used to come through and right past me, 500,000, 3 million, 2 million. What? You guys were in the same position. You guys had the same opportunity to make it happen, guys. So I would say you gotta keep it time and consistent, right? Timing and consistency, right? Primerica rewards the right kind of person. Right? Jimmy Meyer said brains don't win at Primerica. Hard work, excitement, and want to. Because you got to have a want to do this business, right? You have to be a hard worker. You have to be excited. You can't show up to the office, right? What with me? Paying chargebacks. What are you doing? Pick your head up. Chin out, chest up, guys. Everybody has a season. In fact, I would say God gives the toughest seasons to the people God gives the winners because he knows deserves the summers. Follow me? God will give the fall to the people he knows deserve the springs. Everything has a season, guys. There's a time to laugh and there's a time to cry. There's a time to be happy and there's a time to mourn. There's a time for everything, guys. Life is going to happen regardless. But you have to be able to pick your chest out and chin up, right? You have to be able to be determined. You guys have to fight through the adversity, right? Attitude is everything. Attitude is everything. I think everyone had an incredible speech during this. Yes, of course. when he talked about the lion. The lion is not the biggest, not the tallest, it's not the heaviest, not the strongest, but it has the best attitude in the jungle. That's how you guys gotta be. You guys can't come to the office, oh well, training or whatever the case may be. You have to have childlike enthusiasm. Childlike enthusiasm. Jimmy Meyer, guys, I mean, if you would have saw him on the street, you would have thought he was a regular old white guy. Regular old hip hop, right? But that man makes $2.2 million a year. He has a business that'll pay him for the rest of his life. He doesn't have to do this. He doesn't have to do it anymore. 2.2, who? 2.2. There's some people that you give them 2.2 right now, you never see him again. Ever. You never see him again. You follow me? But he's doing it because of the love of the business. He understands that, hey, my attitude is everything. If I want my business to keep going, whether I'm here or not, whether I'm financially independent or not, my attitude has to be everything. You follow me? Negative people drain batteries. Happy people attract others like them. Of course, that's very, very important to understand, guys. Any negative folks you have in your life right now, any negative people that are draining you, you can cut them off, guys. You don't have to be in any environment that you don't want to be in. So I think it's very, very important to understand that and utilize that. Happy people usually attract other happy people. Very, very important to understand, guys. I'm so happy. I thank God every day, ladies, in my life. Because there's some times where, we're human. We get down in the dumps, things happen. Don't think I'm a happy, funny guy all the time. That's not how it is. Sometimes, shit hits the fan and I gotta muscle through it and I gotta go through it. And there's some stuff that I've been through and I understand that, hey, stuff is gonna happen, but what are you going to do to make that situation the best? There are people that victimize themselves all the time, and there are people that take responsibility for everything that happens to them, whether good or bad. Something along the line brought you to that particular position that you're at right now. Whether you feel like it's not your fault or it is, something that you did brought you to that position where you're at right now. And you have to make the decision to either excel and move past that or stay there and die. There's no stagnation in the universe. Have you guys ever seen any fruits that just stay the same? Years and years and years and years and years of just being the same fruit? No. They either get eaten or they rot. But when they rot, what happens? They drop seeds. And what do those seeds do? Grow and then die. And then grow and then die. Everything in the universe, guys, stagnation does not exist in the universe. There's only contracts. There's only contracts. I don't think anything bad happens to people. It's just a matter of contract. You're going to go through a season in your life, especially if you're going to win. God is going to test you. Oh my God, God is going to humble you. The Lord is going to humble you fast. So be willing to accept the humbling fast. Be willing to get humiliated fast because you'll appreciate the things that you have. If somebody got me a belly seat right now and I heard it outside right now, I would not appreciate it. I probably wreck it. In less than 12 minutes, I probably wreck that thing because I didn't have to go through the turmoil and the hard work to go and get after it, guys. So understand that number one, your attitude is everything, guys. You have to come over and be willing to be humiliated fast. Very, very important to get humiliated fast, right? He also said Primerica is a numbers business. I'm sure off of the life insurance thing that I showed you guys right now, you guys saw how textbook that works. Very, very textbook, very, very to the point. Got it from him. And he probably got it from someone else. You follow me? So it's very, very technical way to do that. So now it's just a matter of being a numbers game. Right? Now you have to be able to level up on your people skills. Closing life insurance is not hard. It's not hard to close life insurance. You just have to be able to get in front of more people. Now, are there going to be people that are going to say, yes, you sell anything, people are going to tell you no. Anything you can sell, I don't know, weight loss pills. People sell weight loss pills all the time and they don't make any money. I'm showing you how to lose weight, allegedly, right? But they don't make any money, guys. So you have to understand that anything that you try to facilitate for someone, they're going to be no's, but you want to be able to go through the no's very quickly, especially in this business. You don't want to protect your family with life insurance, okay? If you don't want to have an investment by the time you're 65 to be a millionaire, okay? If you don't want to build a business that's going to pay you hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars a year, okay? Don't put yourself in that position to try to force and muscle through or whatever case. Don't do that. And always be willing to start over, right? Always be willing to start over, guys. This is a new year, right? 2024. We are officially 15 days in. Hey, January just started, right? We was just saying Happy New Year, right? And we're officially 15 days in. So time is going to move. Whether you move or not, time is going to. Okay? Time is going to move. Okay? So understand that, especially, and consider that, especially considering time moves, guys, you can either grow with time or you can get delayed. Think of it like a race. Think about it like a race, like a relay race, right? Or a track race, like a 400. Right? And of course, all the racers get on the line or whatever the case may be, and they can choose to run or not. Some people start too fast, and then they're eliminated. Some people start too slow and get dusted. But the people that start on the right time win the race. And if you're wondering when that right time is, right now, make those appointments, guys. Set those calls, right? Book those appointments. Get those licenses. Build something for yourself. Everybody that's sitting in this chair, all the young people that know who they are that are sitting in this chair are under 30. Come on, guys. And under 30, you know what? I'll go out and say everybody here in this vicinity right now is under 40 years old. That's a blessing, guys. There are some people that find out what we find out when they're 40. When they're 40 years old, 40, 45, 50. Now, is that an excuse to not make it happen? No, but it's a lot harder because, old habits die hard. That's something that my coach actually taught me, right? Some people are not willing to change. Some people are not willing to go through the adversity and the no's and the vitriol because they're so used to being comfortable. If you give a man a fish every single day, he'll come back expecting a fish. But you teach him how to fish, he'll never come back to you again. Choose to be a fisherman, guys. Don't be a customer, be a farmer, right? Farmers already know how to harvest their own food. Farmers already know how to harvest their own grain and get their own wheat and make their own this and that. A customer will always come back to you because they don't know how. Teach your team how to be able to be farmers. Teach your team how to be able to be leaders. Teach your team how to be able to be facilitators. Because that's what's going to grow your business. Not the premium guys, not the cash, but leaders. Every business, and the good thing about this business is that it'll show you how incredible most businesses work. All businesses need leaders. Elon Musk probably does 5% of the work and gets paid the most. Same thing with Warren Buffett, same thing with all these other guys. They do no work and get paid the most for a reason, because they have a system that works. Here in this business, we have a system that works. Utilize the system, maximize the system, and I promise you, right, you'll build something for yourself. I came to this business with one thing in mind, like I'm gonna make it happen, period. From heck or high water, it's gonna happen. Doesn't matter what pain or adversity I go through, right? You gotta be tough as nails. What keeps me going every single day is understanding that, hey, I went through this just now, oh my God, the reward is gonna be 10 times what I went, 20 times what I went. You gotta have your mind wired like that. I remember Noosh was, I was making some calls in Edward's office actually, and Noosh came in the office, and I think mindset is such a big deal, guys. Mindset is very, very important. She came into the office, and I was calling people and they weren't answering. And every time I call people and they don't answer, whether it's life insurance or recruiting, or like, dang, but this person doesn't want me to close them. That's what I say, right? This person doesn't want me to close them. They just don't. They're scared that I'll close them. They are scared that she's like, man, that's really how you think. Yeah, absolutely. When I'm gonna go, oh, man, this thing doesn't work. What? What? No, guys. There's been days where I made 1,600 in a day. 1,600 in a day, guys. In a day. I used to work at TJ Maxx as a manager before everything. And 1,600, guys, probably was like the month. The month. But who, when that check came in, who? But I'm green, you know what I'm saying? Like, 1,600 is a big deal, guys. That's a big deal. It's a huge deal. You're in a business right now, guys, at the division leader contract, right? And regional vice president, but at the division leader contract to make 1,600 in 2 days, $800 a day. Oh, what other? I'll name one business that pays like that. Go ahead. Exactly, guys. So you're in a position right now, guys, to be able to put yourself in a position to win over, right? And of course, right, before we close out, I definitely want to, I think it's always best to be able to give some minutes to the coaches, just to be able to have something to say. So that word, do you have anything you want to say, coach? You go ahead. Of course. So this is my ace right here, guy. I'll put link.
Guys, how the call do, guys? Guys, wow, call, if you guys, I'm gonna do one of the PowerPoint that Edward does, myself in the area where it is before and after, right, when I got the money up and all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna do one for Carl, guys, because the most exciting thing about what I love about Carl is the transformation. A year ago to now, and I always say to everybody here that's young or starting a business, most of our parents want us to go to school, right? They be in school, whether you're younger or even a little bit older, when in doubt, go back to school. I encourage you guys to treat Primerica like school. Your first year, the freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior, right? Because a lot of you guys, raise your hand if your parents still want you to go to school. If your parents saying, why are you doing that thing or what have you, right? So you gotta understand, for you guys who raise their hand, that use Primerica like your 4 years in college, right? Because guys, if you do Primerica right, 4 years from today, at the absolute worst, guys, you can be at 300,000. I truly believe with the environment that we have right now, with legacy put on, with Toga put on, we got people that come in that can make $100,000 in the first year. If Abby can do it, I thought she's a little bit older, she's 22 years old, guys, that should inspire you guys that it can be done. And I encourage you guys, everybody in here, that everyone at every level, we should all be talking about 100 by 100. Because we're not saying, because guys, a regional 100 by 100 is big, RVP 100 by 100 is big, yeah, you should talk about it now, guys, because why not talk big? Why not talk big, guys? Please do not feel like we're saying that for us. The faster you do 100 by 100, the faster you get a big shot. If you look at Ryan's numbers, Ryan did, 800 by 500, I believe, it's.
I hear that.
Yeah, 800 by 400, right, guys, right? So you do the math, right? Almost 1,000 recruits, almost 500,000 for went REP in 14 months. Really could have been 12 months, he passed the exam earlier, but 14 months is not bad. You guys follow me? And last month, he was pissed off, made $8,000. That's crazy, right? That's $8,000 pissed off, right? This month he'll make 20 to get his ring here before convention, but guys, let's get it done now. And let's go back to ECBS. Let's go back to ECBS, guys. Bigger than ever before. Everybody bring 10 people, 20 people. Everybody wear lime green shirt. Everybody there is, we're big when we take over. Because guys, there's no reason we're not going to have. I love Andy, right? But I don't want to make it feel like he put on an event just to showcase his team. You guys follow me? I don't know. I'm excited for him, but how awesome would it be if someone formed an event, he put his time, his money, his effort, and he's doing recognition, thinking that his team will be number one, his legacy be number one. It's totally be number one. But you know how we all do that? All you guys number one. Why? Because your kids, your family is watching you compete, and your kids and family are going to do what you do. So if you're a loser, you already know it's losing. If you're mid, all you know is mid. But if you're a champion, all you know is champion. You guys follow me? You guys fired up? Y'all fired up? I'm gonna introduce guys, my coach, my mentor, guys, near-term NSD, near-term Ruby ring wearer, him and his beautiful bride, Edward and Gabby.
It's absolutely amazing, did he not?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so cool, man. It's so cool to see the constant transformations, and just know that this business is a system, and this is the type of people we develop, your parents give us kids and we give them men, right? So that's the type of environment that we're in. And man, it was just such a special event this weekend. If you went to it, you gained years of knowledge. And if you didn't, then it's behind you and you focus on what's today. But guys, Primerica is a system. All Primerica is, it's a system of somewhere that says, hey, listen, I did it, he did it. And if you guys really think about this, okay, pretty insane statistic, right? So 1 out of 46 people in the company make 6 figures. There's probably no other company in the world that can say 1 out of every 46 people that work there make over 100,000. Right? 1 out of 27 people that work here make over 50,000 a year. And all it is a system, right, guys? Because look, I got started. I remember getting started and being like, hey, man, how is this going to work? What's going to happen? Like, will anybody listen to me? And you know what, guys? That's a thought that I used to have. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have it. You show up early and you're having trouble learning the KT and people are not closing and we're getting charged by something and doubt starts creeping in. And you got to understand, most people don't do something great because when that doubt creeps in, they fold, right? But people that do something great in life, they don't fold, right? They recommit. The answer is not quitting, it's recommitting, right? The easiest thing you could do in the world is quit. It makes the pain go away like that, boom, gone, right? But man, losers, that's what losers do. Right? See, we're not losers, we're winners, and we have a system here. I remember getting started here. Look, today we make 6 figures this year, 7 figures. Our business is worth a couple of $1 million, right? And it's equity here. So what I want you guys to know is that like these months of hard work that you guys are doing these years, it's not free. It's like paying a mortgage. See, you can pay rent and you can pay mortgage. When you pay rent, and that's it. In this business, you guys are building equity in your business. So even though you have nothing in savings, you're building equity. Does that make sense? Except you're not paying a $300,000 house. You're paying a $3, $4, $5, $6, $10 million house. You with me? So you're like, man, I don't have any money. No, it's not that you have any money. You don't have any cash, but you have equity. Does that make sense? Because once you guys own this business, you're gonna go from nothing to boom. You got at least $1 million in equity. You guys understand? And guys, look, this is a system, so you gotta understand, like, if we can do it, you can do it. Look, so I remember I got started, you know, I came here and I got my ring, right? And then I got started, Brandon come up here, right? And this guy comes in and he's like, man, I wanna learn what you do, I wanna learn what you do, I wanna learn what you do. I said, dude, all you gotta do is be coachable, show up and do it. And I remember I got that ring, I was 23 years old, right? And this guy comes in, boom, he comes in, look how ironic it is. Look, you see, if anything similar, you know what starts to happen? Same habits, same same interest, same commitment, boom, you get another ring, right? Another guy comes in, the name of Layton Brown, and he comes in and says, you know what, I want to get started, I want to do this, I'm going to be coachable, you know, this thing, boom, right? Another one comes in, right? Another couple come in, Alan and Luis Camejo, right? If you guys can come up here right here, and they're like, you know what, I don't want to get left behind. I don't want to get behind. Like, I want to do this. I want to wear suits. I want to show, I want to be the right way. Look, guess what? Boom, boom, right? And so what it is, it's a system. And up here, these men, they're all under 30, and there's over $1 million in active income. There's a few $1 million in net worth, and all it is a system. See, my question is, who's going to follow it? See, these guys right here, they didn't shortcut the system. You know, and people that are on their way, Ryan, come up here, right? And look, and this guy is the next one that he looks like, you know, he's doing it. And I always tell people, if it looks like a duck and talks like a duck and smells like a duck, it usually is a what? A duck, right? So this guy came here. See, every single one of these men right here made over $8,333. Most of them made over $16,000 last month doing the same business. You see this? Right? See, guys, this is what you're working for. You're working for a system, and it's possible for you. Look, we all come from different shapes and sizes, right? This guy's Cuban. This man is Jamaican, right? This guy is confused, right? He said he's Puerto Rican, he's white, depending what day you talk to him. Carl is from Haiti. I am from Cuba. Another one from Cuba. Ryan is from the Netherlands, and we all come from different shapes and sizes, right? We all look totally different, but yet we also look the same. You with me? And you guys can give it up for these guys because they're doing it. And what you have to understand that this business is a system. It's a system, and just how they did it, right? And just did I get the right one? Just how we did it, you guys can do it too. So it's like, man, do I have to do it? Yes. Hey, did you guys doubt? Did you guys doubt that it would happen at some point? Nope. He did it. He says he did. You know, I did. I'll be honest. Did you doubt it, that it would happen to you?
No.
Okay, I doubt it every single day, and some people don't. But you know what? But what you guys have to understand is, like, as long as your vision is clear, whatever happens in between, it's okay. Look, if you thought about quitting, if you felt like quitting, if you contemplated quitting, it doesn't matter. It only matters if you quit. Does that make sense? Just how, guess what? If you thought about being successful, if you put a plan in order to be successful, if you visualize a plan to be successful, that will not make you successful. Does that make sense? Guys, we can freaking do this. We can do this, and we need to do it. Like, man, we need to do it as a team. And you know what's going to happen? A new wave of leaders is coming because I see them. And you know what some people have to live with every single day of their life? I've recruited thousands of people here. And most of them, probably 95%. How do you guys have many followers? Every time somebody joins the business, they follow me. Only a very few people unfollow me, right? Those things add up, right? Bunch of quitters. No, I'm just kidding, right? But you know what happens is, most of those people have to live with the fact that I stuck with it. And you know what they have to think every single time there's a big event, every single time we go over an income, every time our business works. What do you think is the thought process they're thinking? Man, where would I be if I would have stuck with it? And you know what? That's the same thought process that a lot of you guys are going to have, because you're going to fold up and you're going to quit like a cheap tent when things get hard, when your boyfriend or girlfriend keep you unfocused, when your mom says to go to school, and you know what's going to happen? You're going to regret that forever, because the consequences that you guys are going to have here are going to be everlasting. And they're going to be great consequences. While the consequences that you'll face quitting and being a loser and listening to the wrong people, it's not even going to last forever. It's going to last for like generations. It's going to be so bad. You with me? So guys, look, it's gonna be hard. It's supposed to be hard. You're not gonna make 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, 100, 150, $200,000 a month being easy. If it was easy, then everybody would do it. And if everybody would do it, we wouldn't get paid big money because everybody can do it. Does that make sense? So guys, look, I'll close it with this. There's a great quote and it says, what is more dangerous? A man that is not afraid to die or a person that's got everything to live for? My father is going through cancer treatments and one of the treatments, he was doing great. He got the treatment and it was like the most painful thing. It was the day of senior leadership, right? It was the most painful thing he'd ever gone. I saw him sweating. I saw him shaking. I saw him get abdominal pain. And he told my mom, if this is how it's going to be, I'd rather not get treatment. And I'm just going to be the next because I'm not afraid to die. And my mom talks to me. She's like, hey, son, like, you got to talk to him because he's like, we're going in a lot of positive direction with these treatments. And like, he has to keep going because, it's looking good. But if he starts getting like this, like it's not, because he's got to have a positive attitude because the brain leads the body. So if the brain tells the body that it's healed, even the doctors say you will most likely get healed. But the moment that you check out, man, we start losing all that progress. So I go and talk to my dad and I tell him, Dad, listen, you have a grandson on the way. Your first grandson ever on the way. Like my sisters are so well behaved. My mom finally beat cancer. You're gonna attend our wedding. My business is finally where it needs to be. And I was like, Dad, I know you're not afraid to die, but you also have everything to live for. And that little line changed his perspective. And I'm here to tell you guys, what is more dangerous? A man that's not afraid to die or a person that's got everything to live for? You guys need to build a business. I know we want to go when things are bad, when everybody's sick. How about building a business when everybody's healthy and able? Right? How about making some money while your parents still can get on the plane and you get them on the plane and go? How about making some money so you can have the family gatherings? How about going to the events and you can take the pictures with your relatives while they're still alive? You with me? So guys, let's come together. Let's do something big. I know we're going to go to get this $1 million done. And I know we are going to go to levels, man, that this company hasn't seen before. You guys in?
All right.
We are.